Hello, everyone, and welcome to episode 21 of Pride FC in the year 2003. Jesus Christ, we are now 4 years into the series. That's nuts, but here we are, as it's Pride 25's Body Blow, and we have quite the card. What quite the card? As before we get to that, we do have some mail, and some mail. I mean, a lot of mail. So we come all the way down here. Uh, we have a lot of extensions on deals, which is Evan Tanner and Tom Erickson, which Evan Tanner is more like he's got one more fight and he's out of here. But Rafael Carino is signed for us as he was, I think he's 8-0, 7-1, 7-1 in the world. And he's taking on Frank Mir at Pride 26, bad to the bone. That should be interesting. High level regional, but as far as name value in South America, obviously he's nowhere in Japan. So that's just, he's kind of starting off the bottom. But what I love about Rafael Carino is he is 6'8". He's a giant man. But we'll see what happens. As we extend a big knock as well. Mirko Prokop, Young Choi. This is kind of crazy. This is the biggest thing that's ever happened so far while we were simming. We had a financial scandal. So we had to pay back $23 million after being, it was revealed that we had illegal tax dodges. I just like to think that we sent this off to the Yakuza, and they haven't figured it out yet. That's pretty nuts. So we lost $23 million, which is still, it's crazy how that's not a big deal, because we're still just going to make that back up by the end of the year, if not close to that. But that's just kind of crazy how that is. We signed Forrest Griffin, who I believe we sent down to rings. No, he is still in Pride. So he's still in Pride for us. So that's huge. Just somewhere for the middleweight division to have. He's 4-0. He won the Rookie of the Year last year. I've seen before. Griffin's a goddamn man. We signed Keith Jardine, who I've always was the Dean of Mean. Keith Jardine, I was always a fan of his as in the lightweight division in the UFC. It's kind of crazy how that was like 20 years ago. And more like 15 years ago. And we signed John Fitch, who he's in rings. So that's just kind of, he's more of a welterweight, so he'd be up in the middleweight. Which obviously, again, we've been kind of speculating that we're going to bring a welterweight division into the UFC in 2004. So, he's going to be a guy who, once we get that going, rocking and rolling next year, he'll be there in the welterweight division. And Melvin Manhoef, which he is in, so Melvin Manhoef and Andrei Semenov, which Andrei Semenov is someone I've wanted. He's been on the short list since the beginning of the series, but we finally signed him. Him and Melvin Manhoef. I obviously love Melvin Manhoef. He's had a rough run of it here in the series, as when we started, he was 1-0-1, and then he had a draw. And he lost, but then he started winning some, and now he's lost some. And he lost to Damian Maia, which that was a great fight. That's an awesome kind of fight to have. And he just lost again and then won. But we signed him for rings exclusively to kind of have him see what he can do. But I love Melvin Manhoef. I hope he does well. And then Andrei Semenov is doing, he's the 9th in the world in middleweights for some reason. He's been in the heavyweight division-wise, I think. Maybe Metzger M1 put him in the heavyweight division for some reason. But yeah, because he started off, he was 5-0 when it started. Then he lost 3 straight in the year 2000, which, one of those was Andrei Arlovski. But then he's went on to win every fight since then, having a record of now 11-3. Obviously, that's very, very good. So we signed him, and he's going to be in the Rings Light Heavyweight Grand Prix. So let's see if he wins that. That's huge. Minoru Suzuki, we signed him to, he's with Pride, and he's going to be in the Pride Middleweight Grand Prix, which is the first round. Fucking Minoru Suzuki, Kazushi Sakuraba. That's going to be fucking sick. Can't wait for that. And we actually signed back Joel de Oliveira and Ebenezer Fontes Barraga. We're going to put them in rings. That's where they're at right now, which I don't. Okay, yeah, it does say they're in rings. So yeah, they're in rings. So that's fun. Which, Ebenezer Fontes Barraga is in the Light Heavyweight Grand Prix. I don't think, Joel de Oliveira is. No, he's not. Which, he hasn't had a fight since Pride 16 in September 2001. As the Big Cat, Tom Erickson left Team Punishment. We also signed Masagatsu Funaki away from UFC, so that was huge. I fucking love Masagatsu Funaki, of course. That was huge. Tank Abbott's back from jail. Stephan Bonner, we signed him, and he's actually in rings, yes. He's 3-1. He could have been in Pride, but we're just like, we'll just put him in. Put him there. Yoji Andrew returned from his hiatus, which is just hilarious since he's 0-9. As we shined Joe Rogan. I figured that was Joe Rogan actually has better microphone and like I wouldn't say microphone skills, like actual like commentary skills better than Boss Rutan. So we might. I think we actually did switch out Boss Rutan for Joe Rogan, but it would, we're gonna sign Boss Rutan too, just because I love Boss Rutan and we have the money to do it. But I actually didn't think we gave him an actual contract offer, so we'll do that now. Oh, we already are. Okay, never mind. We already are. I'm an idiot. As Keith Jardine joined Renzo Gracie's Jiu-Jitsu, Travis Luter, we signed him and we put him in rings. Yes, we did. Because he's 4-4. He started off really well, obviously. I think he was 2-0 when the series started. Oh, he was 1-0 when the series started. And he just kind of has had some bad luck. As he lost a split decision. And then he had the rematch. He lost the unanimous decision. And now he's just fighting he's fighting local fighters in the American local scene. So we just signed him up in rings to have him fight actual people. And, extended fade. So there we go. A lot of fucking mail to go over there. But there we go. We can get rid of all this. So that's huge. But yeah, a lot of signings. A lot of people being put in rings. A lot of people put in... And also, this was not part of the... Okay, so... quickly. So, this next show, Pride 25, Body Blow. Which, there's the card. Frank Shamrock, Vanderlei Silva. The media is going to be a little off. Because... I went in and created our own media. We created basically something for America. And it doesn't show up yet because it happened on this day. Because I kind of fucked up. Because something was going to happen. We can just look at the Alter Show broadcast. No. We can look at the broadcast. So we did put Joe Rogan in the broadcasting booth. Okay. I know where's... Let's alter. There we go. So yeah, we have nothing in America right now. Because we were on, I think, CBS. But I got rid of that deal because we're going to have... It's just not there yet. It's kind of weird. Because it's, just wasn't made. But once it gets made, we'll show it. Because let's see if we can... create. So yeah, it still says that we can create one. Because you can have, like, multiple ones, I guess, or it didn't fucking register it, I don't know. But from what I remember, in the finances, it shows it, because, yeah, we lost $10 million, which usually we don't lose that much before the show starts, because we've put so much money into, yeah, this is in the miscellaneous. Yeah, because we put so much money into it. So that's wild. So now... we do have to have one more fight for Bad to the Bone for Pride 26. Other than that, plus we have one more fight to make for the middleweight Grand Prix that's happening. A lot of interesting stuff. So we'll just get right on to it though. The Pride 25 Body Blow show, as Frank Shamrock, Vanderlei Silva, Hideko Yoshida versus Hoist Gracie. Gary Goodrich, Fedor Emelianenko, Death Hallman, Ryan Gracie, Pete Williams, Volkhan, Alexander Otsuka, Nobuya Takata as the opener, and Renzo Gracie, Forrest Griffin, Guy Metzger, and Daniel Gracie. So, in total, 4 Gracies on the card, and the main event, title fight, middleweight title fight, Frank Shamrock versus Vanderlei Silva. If Vanderlei Silva can recover in enough time, Vanderlei Silva is going to take on Morlio at Pride 26. So we'll just kind of wait with bated breath to see what happens in that title fight. Here we go. So here we are. This is Silva's making his 3rd defense of the Pride and middleweight title. If he's successful, of course, sets the new record. They're the 2 best pound-for-pound fighters in the world. Silva's ranked 1st. Shamrock is 2nd. This is Silva's main eventing a Pride show for the 6th time. He's finished 3 of his last 5 opponents. Trains at Shoot the Box, which Frank Shamrock has an overall record of 1-0 against the other current members of that team. They have the first time they have fought, Silva will have a significant weight advantage, and the Blur Cat staff picks have him 1-6 as Jim is the lone person supporting Frank Shamrock. As Hideko Yoshida versus Gracie. Yoshida's going to enjoy a significant weight advantage. He's going to have the 5-inch reach advantage. And he has this making his pro debut. And all the Blur Cat staff picks have him 7-zip. We'll see what happens with that one. And then Gary Big Daddy Goodrich versus the Last Emperor Fedor Emelianenko. Fedor has finished 4 of his last 5 opponents. They're both world ranked in the super heavyweights, which Gary Goodrich is 9th. Fedor is 21st. This is a nice fight for Fedor. Gary Goodrich is going to have an exciting fight for him. He's got the significant weight advantage. But it seems like this is all in for Fedor to win and to bump up more in the rankings. But Gary Goodrich 1-6, though, as Chris W. is backing Gary Goodrich. You never know with Gary Goodrich. It's Dennis Hallman, Superman Dennis Hallman, taking on Ryan Gracie. The betting lines have Dennis Hallman as a big favorite. He's won 3 of his last 5 by decision, and he is 7-0 for the Blur Cat staff picks. Nobody's backing Ryan Gracie. As then Pete Williams taking on Volkhan. They have fought once before. It's the co-main of the Rings card in 2001, which Han won by submission. Both fighters are ranked in the world in the super heavyweights. Williams is 6th, Volkhan is 16th. Williams trains at Lionsden and has an overall record of 0-1 against the other current members of that team. The betting odds have Pete Williams as a huge favorite, which you can see by the Blur Cat set picks having him 7-zip. And then the Diet Butcher, Alexander Otsuka versus Nobika Takata. As it's kind of surprising that this is the first time they have fought, seeing as how they are just kind of mainstays of what, as far as Japanese fighters and pride so far for us here. And Otsuka, he's 1-0 against other current members of the Takata Dojo, and he's going to enjoy a significant weight advantage. And then the Blur Cat stat picks is kind of close, actually. Takata 5-2. Kind of crazy how that's somewhat close. You figured Takata would have like a pretty big advantage. That's just, that's where we're at. That's the opener. As in the 2 prelims fights, Renzo Gracie, who hasn't won a fight since December of 99. Almost, it will be 5 years if he makes it all the way to February of December of 90. So if he makes it all the way into December of 2003, he's going to be a long-ass time. He probably won't be in Pride by that point if he doesn't win a fight here. But you have Forrest Griffin's going to have significant weight advantage. He's going to have his Pride debut. And he's got the 7-0. Or Enzo Gracie actually has the 7-0 against Forrest Griffin. So that's going to be a tough debut for Forrest Griffin. Maybe Enzo can finally get the win. This guy, the Sandman Metzger, is Dan Gracie, another one who hasn't won in a while. Guy Metzger hasn't won since November of 2000. As Metzger is enjoying an 8-inch reach advantage. And the betting odds have him as a large margin favorite. 7-zip against Daniel Gracie. So here we go. Yeah, minus 720, plus 570. 35 years old, 30 years old, 6'1". Both weighed in at 205, I'm sure. Sandman Metzger's a little bit heavier now. His kickboxing background, Gracie jiu-jitsu background. Big John McCarthy is our ref, our judges. As, yep, he does look significantly bigger than Gracie as they prepare for this fight. Here we go. They touch gloves. Metzger lands 2 jabs, but Gracie avoids a big right. Comes in looking to strike Metzger, which Gracie uses with a left jab while backing away. A jab hits home from Metzger, then hits Gracie with a straight right. He moves in closer, ready to attack. A jab hits home from Metzger, then scores with a right cross. Lands a jab, then lands a right hand. Gracie may have been aiming to get in close, but Metzger aggressively took the initiative. Jab hits home from Metzger, as then he lands a right hand. Metzger hits a left jab, then catches Gracie with a right hook. He lands a jab, and then hits Gracie with a straight right hand. Metzger fails to find home for his jab, but then catches Gracie with a stunning right hook, and he hits the mat. That shot has rocked him. That's a knockdown. He moves in quickly, tries to finish him off with stomps and kicks, but Gracie gets back up too fast. But we have 1 knockdown for Guy Metzger as he steps in looking to unleash some more damage. He scores with a weak flicked left-hand jab, and then he hits a left jab and catches Gracie with a right hook to the body. He can't connect the jab and scores the leg kick. Gracie moves in fast and clinches with Metzger. He's looking to sweep him as he stops the attempted trip, then uses his wrestling skills to take control of the grapple. Uses some dirty boxing as he grapples with Gracie. Hits Gracie with some short strikes to the side of the head while grappling. Metzger is looking to muscle up Gracie back up against the ropes. He does so, and now Gracie pins him to the ropes. He moves into the second half of this round now, as Metzger hits a knee strike to the side of the ribs. He tries to throw another knee to the thigh, but this time Gracie uses his wrestling to prevent it. As Gracie throws a few short punches to the ribs now. It looks like he's in control of the clinch, as now he's got him up against the ropes, takes a few right hands via some dirty boxing. And again, some right hands. Now Metzger uses some dirty boxing to punish Gracie while he's pressed him against the ropes. He's smothering him, using more dirty boxing skills to his advantage. As Gracie waits for Metzger to lift the leg up to attempt a foot stomp, then quickly turns him, creating enough space to escape from that. Now, Metzger's starting to slow down a touch, perhaps conserving a little energy, which is smart. He's already won the round by the knockdown. Might as well wait it out. He fails to find his jab, but then lands a right hand. He can't connect the step strikes, then lands a right hand. As Gracie clearly respects his opponent's strike, he's very aware about getting close enough to grapple. He can't connect the step strikes, and hits Gracie with a straight right. He fails to find the jab, but it catches Gracie with another right hook, and there has been a cut underneath his eye, as again he respects his opponent. He's very aware about getting close, as I'll hit it too many times, as he fails to find his jab and hits him with a straight right. Jab is wide for Metzger, and again hits Gracie with a straight right hand. Does a quick punch, but doesn't land. Connects with a nice jab, but then hits Gracie with a beauty of a straight right, and Feynman left in the first round. He's definitely slowed down. His gas tank's being challenged. He can't connect the jab and hits a nice straight right hand that lands hard, as Metzger lands a left hand but misses with the vicious right hand, and that's up for the first round. At the start of the second round, got the cut man in between rounds, trying to stop the bleeding. Bell rings to start the final round. Metzger can't connect the jab and hits a nice straight right hand. Again, Gracie appears to be going to try to get in close, but Metzger took the initiative first. He lands a left hand, then hits Gracie with a straight right. He's blown out. He's blown up at this point for sure. Throws a quick punch, but doesn't hit it. Moves in fast and clinches with Metzger. As he tries to wrestle Metzger to the ground, it doesn't work. Again, 0 for 2 on takedowns is Daniel Gracie. Looking for a sweep. 0 for 3 on takedowns. Again, Metzger instead wrestles his way into controlling the... Now Metzger's looking for a sweep to the leg in order to execute a sharp trip. He does so. Great inside leg trip. Sees Gracie get thrown to the mat, and Metzger is left in guard. This was just too much for Daniel Gracie. You can see with the betting lines, but this was just... That was a tough fight for him. As Metzger fires off a few punches, but they aren't thrown with any great force, as it fires off a handful of punches, each easily being blocked with gloves, as Gracie tries to sweep from the bottom on the guard, but doesn't budge Metzger. Throws a few right hands to the body, tries to sweep Metzger, but he can't do it. Fires off a handful of punches, but each easily being blocked with gloves. Tries to sweep from the bottom of the guard, but doesn't budge Metzger. Final minute in the round. And end of the fight, Metzger throws a few relatively weak-looking right hands. Tries to sweep Metzger, but can't do it. No progress being made. The referee stands him back up. Moving in closer, looking to open up an attack. Gracie had looked like he was angling to grapple, but he couldn't take the initiative. A jab is wide from Metzger. Then he lands a big right hand. And that's the end of the fight. Obviously, an decision for Guy the Sandman Metzger. As, officially, yeah, here we go. Yeah, decision. Guy Metzger. It was very decent. So we'll take it as a post-fight interview. Guy Metzger gives a name check to everyone at Lionsden, all his various sponsors, and his friends, family support. Showing respect, Guy Metzger praises Daniel Gracie for his skill and toughness. As the last prelim fight, Renzo Gracie versus Forrest Griffin, minus 350, plus 270, so pretty close. As Renzo is 9-4-1-1 with no contest. Forrest Griffin, 4-0. He's got the mixed martial arts background, Minnesota Martial Arts Academy. 23 years old, 6'3", 205. Is going to be a giant compared to Renzo Gracie. As our referee, our judges, as yes, he's got at least 35 pounds on Renzo Gracie. And the fight begins. The touch gloves. Griffin lands a jab and hits Gracie with the beauty of a straight right. Again, finds a home for his jab and hits Gracie with a straight right. Without taking too much damage, Gracie is able to clinch with Griffin. He tries to leg sweep him, but Griffin stops the attempted trip and then uses his wrestling to take control of the grapple. Griffin's trying to push Gracie so that his back is up against the ropes. He achieves it, pinning Gracie to the ropes. Griffin drops down and wraps his arms around his opponent's legs, looking to try to take him down. He does so. It's ugly, but he gets it. It's effective enough to leave Gracie on the mat, turtled up with Griffin on top of him, facing him, as he looks to hit a knee strike, but Gracie gets up too quickly. Now he shoots in looking for a takedown, Gracie sprawls brilliantly, not only preventing the takedown, but pushing Griffin down on his hands and knees as he flattens over and he takes his back. But moving quickly, Griffin scrambles. He mistakenly leaves his back exposed, and Gracie seizes the opportunity and takes it. Looking for a rear naked choke, Griffin stops it as he tries to roll, but Gracie doesn't budge. As now he's got the body triangle, a tight body triangle, no less. Looking for the rear naked choke, but again, Forrest Griffin fights off the rear naked choke. He manages to turn over and squirm free of the body triangle, but that allows Gracie to get mount with ease. This is bad news. 6 minutes pretty much left in the fight, and Gracie's in mount. Tries to pound on Griffin, but none of the blows land with any degree of power. Tries to get into half guard, but he can't. He pounds away on Griffin, landing a few clean shots, but not many. And now he's landing several good shots in the process, halfway into the first round. He unloads some right hands, but Griffin deals with him comfortably. He blocks the attempt to move him from mount. Does Gracie as he pounds away with rights, but fails to land anything significant. He controls Griffin, who was trying to wriggle free of the half guard. Fires off some right hands, but Griffin is in trouble with him. As now he gives up his back. Again, he's got both hooks in, looking for the rear naked choke, but Griffin doesn't allow it. Forrest Griffin has been fighting his ass off to survive so far. He's got 3 minutes left. And he's trying to break free of the hooks, but they're too tight. Looking for a rear naked choke again, and this time, he gets him. Forrest Griffin has to tap out now, 4-1 in Pride, as tough debut for Forrest Griffin, but here we are. Renzo Gracie gets the win, making it 10-4-1-1. Renzo Gracie is your winner by submission, and it's rated great. What a fight. And as Renzo Gracie thanks everyone connected to Renzo Gracie Jiu-Jitsu for having prepared for this fight, and his sponsors for supporting financially. The interviewer asks who he'd be interested in fighting next. He brings up Masanori Suda as an interesting idea. Renzo Gracie gave a good account of himself here. As the Diet Butcher, Alexander Otsuka versus Nobuyuki Takata. As, boy oh boy, plus 100, minus 130. Nobuyuki Takata's 40 years old. Both guys have losing records. Both have wrestling backgrounds, obviously. As Takata Dojo versus Barista. As, 6'1", 225, 6 foot, 210. See what that referee Yuji Shimada. Our judges. Bell rings. Start with a touch of gloves. Takata shoots in on Otsuka. Otsuka sprawls brilliantly, but not only preventing the takedown by pushing Takata down on his hands and knees. Takata gets up sharply, sensing that Otsuka was preparing to throw a vicious knee strike to the head, and a takedown attempt from Otsuka. And Takata almost got away with it, but not quite. He is left hopping while Otsuka has a hold of one leg. So he's they're both 0 for 1 on takedowns. As unable to complete the takedown, Otsuka instead pushes Takata up against the ropes. As Otsuka shows his grappling skills by trapping Takata up against the ropes. Next minute or so, they engage in close quarter sturdy boxing. And is looking for a trip takedown. He's looking to get low and take out both legs for just a double leg takedown. He gets the big takedown and manages to get side control as Otsuka tries to get himself in the mount. He almost gets mount, but Takata was ready to scramble for position. And the scramble is also Otsuka being on his back, pulling guard. As he's trying to pass guard. He can't do anything about the pass and is left under side control. Fires off a few punches as he catches his breath. He blocks the attempt to pull guard. Throws a few weak-looking punches. He decides his next move does Takata. As Otsuka tries to move to guard, but Takata doesn't allow it. Punches down at Otsuka, but they are easily taken on the gloves. He blocks another attempt to pull guard. Starts working from side control to mount. He can't stop it. And now Otsuka is mounted. Nobuyuki Takata's a mount. Tries to pound on Otsuka, but none of the blows land with any degree of power. As Otsuka tries to sweep from the bottom, it doesn't budge him. As he unloads some right hands, but Otsuka deals with them comfortably. Again, he tries to sweep it, can't do it. Again, deals with the right hands comfortably. Again, can't get him out of mount. Fairly minimal damage with the right hands. As again, just some more right hands that are being dealt with comfortably. Again, he can't budge him. Minute left in the first round. Takata fires away with punches, but does little in the way of damage. As he tries to sweep from the body, but gets rolled, and now Takata has his back with 30 seconds left in the first round. As Otsuka blocks the body triangle. He blocks the attempt to roll him off him, does Takata, and that's the end of the first round. So that had to been, once he got the double leg takedown, that was all Nobuyuki Takata. You see from the punches, he definitely has that. The ground pass is 2 for 2. Sure, he's 0 for 1 on takedowns, but you have to give that to Nobuyuki Takata. We'll see what happens in the second round, though. Alexander Otsuka could win it. There's 5 minutes left in the fight. Takata moves in closer, looking to open up an attack. He uses the left jab, but Otsuka avoids the big right. Shoots in looking for that takedown. There's a great sprawl. Otsuka prevents it again, pushing him down on his hands and knees again. As again looking to get a knee strike, but Takata again back up too quickly. There's a takedown attempt from Otsuka, and he gets it. Takata's on his back, and he has to pull guard. So Otsuka is 2 for 3 on takedowns. Tries to pass the guard. As he does, he passes half guard. He pounds away, but Takata is in trouble by the strikes. He tries to sweep Otsuka, but doesn't get anywhere with it. He attempts to pass half guard to gain better position. He can't keep his opponent in half guard, and Otsuka is in side control now. As he tries to pound on Takata, but none of the blows land with any degree of power. As he blocks Takata as he tries to transition to guard. He's looking for an armbar now, but Takata blocks it. He tries to pull guard on Otsuka, but doesn't get anywhere with the attempt. Minute left in the round, and in the fight. Otsuka fires off a few punches, but they don't throw with any great force. As he fires off a few punches, he tries to catch his breath. Takata takes the opportunity and manages to pull half guard. And that's the end of the fight. That's a tough one to call, because that was pretty much all Otsuka. I think if you combine, and you make it one whole fight, I think Nobuhiko Takata landed more strikes, and I think they had the same amount of ground passes. Alexander Otsuka trying to attempt a submission definitely helped his case. He definitely won that round for sure. It's tough. I wouldn't be surprised if we see a split decision. Oh wow, they all gave it to Otsuka. Okay. So unanimous decision win for Alexander Otsuka. The Diet Butcher gets the win. A bit of an upset, but that was rated a good fight. And let's see what happens. As giving thanks, Alexander Otsuka praises his team at Barista, his various sponsors and the fans who came out to support him. He says that he has a lot of respect for Nobuhiko Takata and praises his toughness. As now we have Pete Williams taking on Volkhan at 17-5. Volkhan is 17-10 in one no contest. Sambo style, submission wrestling style. Pete Williams a heavy favorite, minus 860, and Volkhan plus 680 as 41 years old. Fucking Volkhan. As Big John McCarthy, a referee, our judges. Fight begins. Pete Williams fails to find home his jab, but he then catches Volkhan with a right hook. He confidently comes in closer. Volkhan appeared to be going to try to get in close, but Williams took the initiative first. He lands a jab and then lands a big right hand. Can't up the setup left jab, then catches Volkhan with a straight right. Throws a punch, but Volkhan avoids it. Circling, Volkhan clearly wants to get close enough to grab it, but it's wary about getting hit. Williams lands a left hand and hits a slithering kick to the legs. And lands a left hand and hits Volkhan with a beauty of his straight right. Lands a jab and then catches Volkhan with a sensational right head kick. And he goes down. He is out. A knockout for Pete Williams. A big right head kick knocks out Volkhan and he gets the win. It's 18-5 now for Pete Williams. Volkhan 17-11 with the 1-no contest. And that was rated great. Pete Williams with a knockout head kick. And he name checks everyone at Lions Den, all of his various sponsors, then his friends, family, supporters. The interviewer asks who he'd be interested in fighting next, and he replies that Ice Cold Igor would be a tough challenge, but one that he'd be interested in trying. Pete Williams wants a fucking title fight. Not a title fight anymore. Wants a former title fight. Wants to take on the former champion. And Ice Cold Igor, obviously. Big Nog got the win over Igor. But next up is the match in which Superman, Dennis Hallman, is 21-4, taking on Ryan Gracie. So Ryan Gracie's a year older, and Dennis Hallman has a record of 21-4, while Ryan Gracie's 2-2. As a wrestling jiu-jitsu background, Gracie jiu-jitsu background, this should stay on the mat. Minus 550 for Dennis Hallman, plus 430 for Ryan Gracie. Big John McCarthy states that there's our ref. Judges, here we go. Touch of gloves. No, there's no touch of gloves. Neither fighter even attempted to. Yeah, these two have had some history of jockeying back and forth against each other. Takata man's beat in the center, and they start to strike. And he tries a right hook, but misses. It's Dennis Hallman. Gracie can't get past the good guard of Hallman. 2 punches were simply absorbed. Takata man's beat in the center, they start to strike. So Hallman dodges the right hand and counterattacks with a jab and a big right hand that just misses. They set up to strike. Gracie misses the big right hand, allowing Hallman to counter with 2 jabs that are followed by a right hand. The jab is wide from Hallman and scores with a right cross. As a jab hits home from Hallman, then hits Gracie with a straight right. Two fighters stand and trade strikes, but neither can land anything significant. They come together and engage, as Hallman has a right hand blocked. Gracie has a right hand taken on the gloves. He moves forward, constantly trying to pressure Gracie into exchanging strikes. He moves into the pocket, lands a jab, then scores with the right cross. As there's exchange of strikes at relatively close range, but nothing really lands. As we have Gracie may have been setting up to shoot, but Hallman aggressively took the initiative there. As then he connects on a nice jab and catches Gracie with a right hook. As he comes forward, and then Gracie fires off a counter jab. As Hallman fails to find a home for his jab, and then catches Gracie with a straight right hand. They come together and strike. Hallman lands a left hook. Gracie hits a left jab and misses the right hand. He rolls his shoulders to relax them, as he moves forward. So there's Hallman. Yeah, he's pretty much been in control this whole fight so far. He lands two left hands, but finds nothing but air on the big right. They come together and strike, but neither land anything significant. He lands a jab, then lands a right hand. I love how I said this would be on the mat. So far, 5 minutes into the fight, no, has not been a takedown attempted. As Hallman attacks with strikes, throws a counter jab, but misses as Gracie. He hits a left hand, but his big right hand follows up, misses. He comes forward and the two fighters engage. As Gracie throws a counter jab, but it misses. He connects with a jab, and Gracie avoids the big punch. As he stalks forward, pressuring Gracie to distance Hallman, he manages the counter jab. A jab is wide from Hallman, then hits a nice straight right hand. Both fighters step in to strike. He buys a feint and is left open. He misses the right hook and gets countered with a jab and a right hand. Taking a few gulps of breath, Gracie's giving the first hint that he's starting to tire a touch. Hallman comes forward, throws a counter legit left, but doesn't connect. Hallman hits a left jab and then lands a right hand. Two fighters come together and strike, but it's really tentative and nothing comes of it. Coming forward to attack. Hallman's now in the pocket. He can't connect with the jab and lands a right hand. They stand and trade in the center of the ring, but neither fighter gives or takes any damage. They engage. He dodges a right hand and counterattacks with a nice left hand. Comes forward, and the two fighters start to trade blows. Hits two left hands on the counter to Gracie. Hallman fails to find a home for his jab, but then scores the right cross. Starting to slow down a touch, perhaps conserving a little energy. As closing the distance, obviously looking to strike as Dennis Hallman. He lands a left hook, then catches Gracie with a right hook. As they stand and trade, neither fighter lands a good shot. He keeps stalking him, steps into the pocket confidently, connects with a nice jab, and hits a nice straight right hand. 60 seconds left. Comes forward on the attack as Gracie manages a counter jab. He lands a jab, then lands a right hand. He comes forward looking to force a striking exchange. Gracie fires off a counter jab. He can't connect with the jab and catches, and then hits a nice straight right hand. He lands a left jab and finds nothing but air with the big right. Let's fly with a verbal barrage of trash talk. Oh my jeez, Ryan Gracie talking a bunch of trash after getting his ass kicked for 10 whole minutes. He lands a jab, then hits a nice straight right hand, and that's the end of the first round. Looking at the fight metrics, 30 more jabs thrown by Dennis Hallman. This has been just a boring-ass fight. So, 5 minutes left as the final round, 5 minutes left in the fight. Hallman can't connect with step strikes, then catches Gracie with a right hook. Can't hit the step left jab, then hits Gracie with a straight right. Both fighters move in and engage. Hallman counters a right hand with a left hook. They come forward and engage. Gracie misses a right cross that leaves him open for the counter. Hallman attacks with a right hook. Looking very tired. Gracie isn't able to resist. Being pulled into a clinch by Hallman. Hallman tries to wrestle Gracie backwards and up against the ropes. He achieves it and bends Gracie to the ropes. With the ropes trapping Gracie, Hallman looks to try and take him down by going low and taking out both legs. Finally, a takedown attempt. As he cannot stop the takedown, and he gives up side control, does Ryan Gracie. So Dennis Hallman loads with some right hands, but Gracie deals with them comfortably. Tries to transition the guard, he can't manage it. As Hallman throws a few right hands, but it's mainly just trying to catch his breath. Halfway into the round now. Hallman tries to pound on Gracie, none of the blows land with any degree of power. He tries to transition the guard, but he can't manage it. He keeps Gracie guessing with a few quick strikes. He blocks an attempt to pull guard as Hallman, and Gracie's now looking very tired with a minute 23 left. Fires off a handful of punches, each easily being blocked with gloves, as he tries to transition the guard, but he blocks it, does Dennis Hallman. Fires off some right hands, but Gracie is in trouble with him. Tries to pull guard on Hallman, but doesn't get anywhere with the attempt. And with no progress being made, Big John McCarthy stands back up with 8 seconds left in the round, and that's the end of the fight right there. Unanimous decision, Dennis Hallman. No surprise there. It was rated average. That's being generous. As Dennis Hallman gives a name check to everyone at the pit, all of his various sponsors, and his friends, family, supporters. He's asked who he'd like to fight next. The answer is he thinks that a fight with Renzo Gracie would probably be a great contest. He just wants to be a Gracie hunter. I'm all for it. Dennis Hallman, Renzo Gracie. As this is going to be an exciting fight, though. Gary Big Daddy Goodrich taking on the last Emperor, Fedor Emelianenko, 37 years old, 6'3", 245. Fedor, 26 years old, 6', 230. 5-0 with Sambo style. Red Devil sport background. Minus 400, plus 310. With the Hammer House freestyle wrestling. Referee is Yuji Shimada. Our judges. Fight begins. A jab is wide from Goodrich and then hits Fedor with a straight right hand. A tentative jab from Fedor lands. Goodrich throws a punch, but Fedor is equal to it. An exchange of strikes sees both fighters failing anything significant. Fedor shoots in hard and fast for the takedown. Goodrich almost got away with it, but not quite, as now he's left hopping while Fedor has a hold of his leg. He can't get him down, so he settles for pushing him up against the ropes. Looking for a suplex, but Fedor doesn't get it. Goodrich blocked it, so now 0 for 2 on takedowns for Fedor right off the rip. Can't seem to work his way free, though, as now looking for another suplex. This time he gets a suplex slam. Goodrich down to the ground now, as Fedor takes the back of Goodrich directly off the takedown. That's a great job by Fedor. Looking for a rear naked choke. He defends it well, as he's trying to get him off his back, but he can't. Another rear naked choke. Again, Goodrich stops it from getting his arm under the chin and from completing the choke. He tries to turn over and sweep Fedor, but he can't do it. He's in huge trouble now. Fedor's got both hooks in, looking for the rear naked choke, and he gets it. Fedor taps out Goodrich with the rear naked choke. 12-13 for Big Daddy Goodrich. 6-0 for Fedor Emelianenko. He wins by submission, and it's rated good. As Fedor Emelianenko gives a name check to everyone at the Red Devil Sport, all of his various sponsors, then his friends, family, supporters. Watching replays of the finish, Fedor says that they thought it was a very good choke, and thanks his trainers for working on it with him. As now with the co-main event, Hideko Yoshida versus Royce Gracie. Co-main event. As minus 200, plus 150. This is Judo versus Jiu-Jitsu at its finest here. 5'11", 205, 6 foot 190. So Royce is going to be taller, but he's giving up some weight, at least 20 pounds. Judges, at least 30 pounds, actually. I'm retarded. I can't do quick math. As round 1 begins, touch gloves, clinch up and start jockeying for position. Yoshida looks like he's gotten the better of the clinch, makes sense. Catches Gracie with a knee strike to the body. Look at the muscle Gracie back up against the ribs. He does so. Hits a knee strike again to the side of the ribs. Another third knee strike to the ribs. As he's looking for a knee strike, but Gracie works enough space to pull clear and circle out. Come close and clinch. Again, Yoshida gets the advantage. And again, he catches him with a knee strike to the body. Another fifth knee strike to the body now. Tries to wrestle Gracie backwards up against the ropes. He does so. And it takes a sharp stomp to the foot. Now he's looking to get him in the Muay Thai clinch. He does so. Now he's in the Muay Thai clinch. Another knee to the ribs. But this time now, it lacked power. He partially blocks a knee strike enough to allow him to wrestle free of the clinch. And he moves in fast. Gracie wrestles his way to the dominant position in the clinch, looking for a trip takedown. He doesn't get it, though. 0 for 1 on takedowns for Royce Gracie. Tries to wrestle him back up against the ropes as Yoshida. He does. And again, looking for the Muay Thai clinch. And again, he gets it. As halfway into the first round, pretty much been all Yoshida. As he misses the knee strike. And again, Gracie wrestles free. And now Yoshida slowing down a bit as he trying to get into the gas tank. As Gracie moves in and clinches, Gracie looks to take Yoshida down with a trip. Gracie doesn't get it. Yoshida blocked any attempt to move him. And again, he attempts a trip to put Yoshida on the ground. He doesn't get the trip as Yoshida's looking to muscle Gracie back up against the ropes. He doesn't manage it, though, as Gracie defends it well. Yoshida hits Gracie with a knee strike to the body as they grapple, defends himself from an attempted knee strike. Yoshida's trying to push Gracie so that his back is up against the ropes. He doesn't, and Gracie's stuck up with his back to the ropes. He smothers Gracie against the ropes, and then hits him with a knee strike to the ribs. He hits a knee strike to the side of the ribs. Gracie takes a knee strike to the inside of his own knee, as Gracie waits for Yoshida to try and throw a knee, quickly turns him, creating enough space to escape away with the ropes. They come together and start wrestling in the over-under clinch position. Yoshida is the aggressor. Using his wrestling skills, Yoshida is trying to push Gracie up against the ropes. as he ends up with his back against the ropes. A minute left in the first round. Yoshida tries a knee to the thigh, but Gracie blocks it. Throws a few short punches to the ribs to Gracie. He throws a few quick punches to the side of the head now, as he tries to use a knee strike from the clinch, but Gracie blocks it, and that's the end of the first round. You have to give that to Yoshida, but it's close. It is actually a little bit closer than you think. The takedowns, if Royce Gracie could get a takedown, he'd be maybe primed to do some damage, but Hideyuki Yoshida has done a phenomenal job of blocking the takedowns. And he's been staying in his world. He's been standing up and being in getting in the clinch and doing well with the knee strikes to either the ribs or the side of the stomach. Either way, though, yeah, ugly black but bruise to the side of Royce Gracie. That was a no-brainer, the way this has been going. As Yoshida looked like he was about to shoot, but Gracie stepped up fast and started to clinch. He's looking for a sweep, the outside leg. Doesn't get it, though. 0-4 takedowns. Yoshida instead wrestles his way into controlling the grapple. So using those wrestling skills, Yoshida's trying to push Gracie up against the ropes. He does so. Now Gracie's pinned into the ropes. Yoshida's breathing very hard. He catches Gracie with a knee strike to the ribs while he's pressed up against the ropes. This time a knee strike to the thigh. Here's a hard foot stomp. Another knee to the thighs. Another knee to the ribs. Knee to the thigh. Knee to the ribs. He just keeps on changing back and forth. This time a knee to the stomach. Oh no, it's the side of the stomach. Halfway into the second round, he catches a knee strike to the ribs. As now a referee breaks it up and brings him back to the center. And now Gracie's starting to breathe a little heavier now. Both fighters want to come in close and clinch. Yoshida works his way into the dominant position. Another knee strike to the body as using his wrestling skills, Yoshida is trying to wrestle Gracie up against the ropes. He does so now. He can't do it though, actually, as Gracie gets the more dominant position. I read that completely wrong. I'm an idiot. As Gracie gets a more dominant position in the grapple. Looking for a trip takedown. 0 for 5 on takedowns. Poor Royce Gracie. 60 seconds left in the fight. Yoshida pushes him back up against the ropes. As he seems fighting against exhaustion at this point. He attempts a knee strike, but Gracie pulls in the clinch tighter. Takes a knee strike to the inside of his own knee that time. Takes a knee strike to the side of the ribs. And he gets caught with a knee to the inside thigh. And that is it. Hideyuki Yoshida is our winner of the fight. And he gets the win. It's a decent fight. All Yoshida. As he thanks all of his sponsors for backing him up, and thanks his family, friends, supporters, celebrates his Pride debut victory. So he's already looking forward to his next fight, as it's the main event for the Pride middleweight title. We have Frank Shamrock at 25-9-2, 5'10", 205, versus the Axe Murderer Vanderlei Silva at 5'11", 205, 16-2 with a Muay Thai background. Shoot a box versus Lions Den, plus 200, minus 200. We'll see what happens for Vanderlei Silva here. As our referee, our judges. As Silva is looking significantly bigger than Shamrock as they prepare for this fight, even though they weigh exactly the same. We are underway. Silva throws 3 punches, but Shamrock defended successfully against them all. Oh wow, I guess we could have just said he defended against them all. As Shamrock takes the chance and shoots in on Silva. He gets a hold of a leg, but Silva remains standing, hopping on the other foot. He drives Silva up against the ropes. As Shamrock looks to sweep him out underneath the leg, looking for a trip. He does so. A quick inside leg trip. 1 for 1 on takedowns for Frank Shamrock. My God. As in guard, Shamrock begins working the pass side control. Silva fights the attempt off, and they wind up in scrambling for position. The scramble sees Shamrock up first, and he quickly tries to wrestle Silva up against the ropes. As now looking for a takedown by grabbing both his opponent's legs and trying to take him to the mat. He does so. 2 for 2 on takedowns now. A big takedown. He manages to get side control of it. He pounds away on Silva, but is unable to inflict any of much damage. And Silva deals with him calmly. Fouls away with punches with Silva again. Doesn't take any undue damage. Is in trouble by the strikes. Doesn't do much damage. As Silva again doesn't do much damage. As throws a few right hands to the body. Pounds away, but Silva calmly deals with him. He's had control, but Silva's just been dealing with him comfortably the whole time. Looking to catch his breath, Shamrock is content just a couple of punches to the body. Referee breaks it up, brings them back to their feet. Conflict comes in closer. Can't connect with a setup strike, but it's a vicious right cross, and he knocks him down. Shamrock falls to the floor, and without hesitation, Silva goes to the finish. Shamrock off with the stomps and kicks. He's too slow, though. Shamrock gets back to his feet. Knockdown for Vanderlei Silva. That is huge. He might have just won the round right there. As they come together and trade leather, but neither fighter really does any damage. He comes forward, looking to pressure Shamrock, stepping into the pocket. He can't hit the sub left jab and then hits Shamrock with a straight right. As Shamrock shoots him with speed, looking for a takedown. He doesn't get it, though, as he comes away, hopping away. So actually, Shamrock is 2 for 4 on takedowns. I just now remembered the first takedown. Silva was left hopping on one leg. So he has 2 for 4 on takedowns. Shamrock uses the position to drive Silva back up against the ropes. He does so. He stomps on the foot, as Silva takes a hard foot stomp. And now, looking for a sharp fucking sweep. He does so. A quick inside leg trip. He can't do nothing about it. In guard, Shamrock throws a couple of punches designed to keep Silva guessing. Shamrock attempts to pass guard and gain better position. Silva fights the attempt off. They wind up scrambling for position. Silva's up first and quickly grabs Shamrock, pushing him up against the ropes. Now he's got him in the Muay Thai clinch. As Shamrock wrestles his way out of trouble, turns it in so that Silva's now with his back up against the ropes. That's a great job by Frank Shamrock. As now look, he's got him by the legs. He's looking for the takedown. As Silva's left hopping on his other leg, trying to maintain his balance. As he yanks his leg free, circles out. He comes forward with the attack. Shamrock hits a jab in exchange. A jab is away from Silva, then lands a big right hand. Shoots him for the takedown. Silva almost gets away with it, but not quite, as he is left hopping while Shamrock has a hold of one leg. As Shamrock drives Silva up against the ropes. As Shamrock drops down and wraps his arms around his opponent's legs, looking to try to take him down. Doesn't get it. Silva blocks it in an attempt to move him. As Silva may have been stopped the takedown, but he's having less luck getting away from the ropes. As 60 seconds left in the round, Shamrock goes low and comes up holding a single leg, leaving Silva hopping and in danger of getting taken down. Again, Silva manages to fight off the takedown, eventually pulling his leg free and moving to the center. He confidently moves in close to the center. He can't connect to the setup left jab and then hits a crunching straight right to the jaw, and that's another knockdown before the end of this round, and since his victory, looks to finish it off with stomps and soccer kicks, but Shamrock's back to his feet too quickly. Two knockdowns rather, for Vanderlei Silva. You have to say he's got that all wrapped up in the bag. As 3 for 9 on takedowns. He only landed 4 strikes, which Shamrock landed way more. He landed 54, if you count the kicks as well. But, my God, he landed 53, rather, in total. But he had 2 knockdowns. You have to give that to Vanderlei Silva, even with the knockdowns. He did more damage. It's plain and simple. Fun round to watch. Yeah, it was. It was a fun round to see. I mean, Jesus. Frank Shamrock just could not. He didn't give up. Did not give up. And that's the bell. Start of the 5 minutes left in this fight. The second round, the final round. He can't connect with the jab. It hits Shamrock the beauty for straight right. And he's staggering backwards, looking dazed. That last blow has really rocked him. As in, there's a knockdown. He moves in fast, flooring Shamrock with the right hand to the jaw. He pounds away on Shamrock, looking to finish off the fight. He's taking heavy shot after heavy shot is Frank Shamrock. And now the referee steps in, leaps in, stops the fight. A fucking TKO victory for Vanderlei Silva, keeping the middleweight title. He's a third defense for the Pride middleweight title is Vanderlei Silva, and that was rated fantastic. That was a fantastic fight. Way to go, Vanderlei Silva. Thanks to everyone connected to Shoot the Box for helping prepare for this fight, then sponsors for supporting him financially. Vanderlei Silva still being in the Pride middleweight champion, and says that he's looking forward to his next challenger stepping forward. As, yeah, commercial rating was still 100, even though it wasn't in America. Critical rating was 78. It's a great way to start off 2003. I'd say so myself. There's all the pop increases, but nowhere in America, because we fucked up. But that's okay, as Vanderlei Silva with the fight of the night, and Vanderlei Silva, Frank Shamrock rather, with the fight of the night. KO of the night was Pete Williams, Volkhan. Submission of the night, Fedor Emelianenko and Gary Goodrich. Hell yeah. Hell yeah, plus 6 million. As we'll just skip all those. Hell yeah. I'm sure Damian Maia's going to win. Damian Maia still is in rings, but we didn't sign him. I think this is his last fight in Mecca. Could be wrong, though. It's processing all the hires and whatnot. A lot of organic biographies, and there we go. Vanderlei Silva defends his title for the 3rd time. As we have some mail, some contract extensions. Frank Shamrock as a Jay Nunes was approached by Pancrase. Fabio Maladona. So let's just see right now if we can get this, see how long it's going to take. Let's see, I think it's, I'm always retarded out absences. Let's see, 13 days, perfect. So he will, it might be a quick camp, but he's going to have the fight. Wow. So there we go. We're going to have it. Murray Rua versus Vanderlei Silva. Back-to-back title fights for Vanderlei Silva. And then he's going to have a nice couple of shows off until elimination. He's not going to have a fight. Probably won't have a final conflict. That's going to be kind of the sequel to the tournament, to the Grand Prix, which you can see the Grand Prix there. Minoru Suzuki, Kazuki Sakuraba is so far penciled in the main event. Vitor Belfort, Nate Marcotte, Jeremy Horn, Anderson Silva. That's going to be an awesome fight. Matsunori Suda, Pat Miletich, Ronaldo Brawl, Carlos Newton. That's going to be an awesome fight. Rich Franklin and Evan Tanner and Masayatsu Yano versus Quentin Rampage Jackson. In the final fight of that is going to be Chuck Liddell versus Masakatsu Funaki. We're just waiting on Chuck Liddell to get ready for that. So that's going to be a lot of fun. A lot of fun. That is for sure. As we will catch you guys next time for Pride 26's Bad to the Bone show. As take care, everyone.